All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Yoga with Kristy this morning. And we're just so grateful that what we're practicing today, or what we're celebrating, is actually starts tomorrow, and that is Ash Wednesday. But today is Fat Tuesday, which means that in order to launch out into a season of fasting that begins tomorrow, the originators of this practice would clean out their cupboards by using up all their flour and sugar by making pancakes or any kind of yummy, delicious, decadent thing that they wanted to make and eat it all up so it wouldn't be there to tempt them in their time of fasting. So that gives you permission as you leave this place to go and just live it up, sisters. Today's Fat Tuesday, but we're going to launch out into our meditations actually for Ash Wednesday. So Lent, the word Lent is short for a word that means lengthening, which means we're celebrating the lengthening of the light during the day. If you notice, the daylight's getting a little bit longer. Yay, hallelujah. And so receiving ashes on Ash Wednesday comes from the practice of lamenting with sackcloth and ashes, the old Hebrew ritual of lamenting or repenting or mourning by sitting in wearing sackcloth and like throwing the ashes up in the air and receiving them on your body. And so we put them on our foreheads in the shape of a cross to remind us that we are made of ashes, and to ashes we will return, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So tomorrow, I'm thinking I'm going to post a different meditation. If you want to come on tomorrow, today I'm sticking up to our resources for Ash Wednesday and Lent, but I have a beautiful poem and some thoughts about Ash Wednesday that I want to include in another little video. So I'm going to try to put that up for tomorrow if you want to do that. And I'll send you the link, assuming that gets done. So let's see, what else do we have here? Oh yes, 40 days leading up to Lent. As you know, to Easter, 40 is a big number in the Bible. 40 days of rain, flooding in the days of Noah. Moses was on Mount Sinai for 40 days, and Jesus spent 40 days in the desert, in the wilderness, preparing for his ministry, during which he was really tested to see if he could bear up to the challenges of his humanity, the desire maybe for power, the desire to satisfy his physical appetites. So we wonder where his thoughts were and what his experience was as he was 40 days without food. I mean, I can't go 2 meals without food. If somebody offered me food to jump off a building, maybe I would do it, So he's a strong guy, right? So we use this 40 days to kind of take a walk in the wilderness, maybe fasting, and self-examination. And that's where we're going to start today. So my friends, I love you, and welcome. So let's lie back on your mats and get comfortable if you're not there already. If you are watching this as a recording, before you rest back on your mat, I invite you to pause the video, go off and get yourself a couple of towels rolled up to put beside you for use later, or a couple of pillows. So you can pause here, scamper off and get your rolls there, or your your cinnamon rolls. You put those under your thighs, which is where they stay anyway. Whatever. So yes, and then we can come back and start. So resting on your mat. This is the time when we make our journey from the busyness of our morning, for wherever we've been, and we become present to this space. We'll begin by looking around us, looking at the space you occupy with fresh eyes, noticing colors and shapes. Objects. the sacred ordinary that surrounds us, how beautiful it is, all these things that are representational of who we are and where we've been. And we just stop looking at them after a while, but today, take a look. And then drawing your gaze to center. If it's comfortable for you, closing your eyes here. And send your thoughts and awareness out to that space around you and listen. So we're listening for any level of sound we can pick up. The quietest sounds, the louder sounds, just listen. And in this space of quiet, as we pick up those little whispers around us, gentle sounds, maybe things you haven't noticed before, this is a preparation for our journey to learn to pay attention to what's quiet, pay attention to that small whisper that God might be trying to whisper in our ear, calling attention to God's voice. And then noticing that the air, the space where you rest, maybe feeling it up against your skin, and remembering that this is sacred space where God lives and moves and loves and sees and holds you, takes care of you, surrounds you, above, below, around, and within. God's presence. And then noticing your body resting here. So we'll do a little scan, noticing if there's any place where maybe your clothing is bunched up and you want to smooth it out. Maybe you're feeling a little itchy somewhere, a little uncomfortable, the need to squirm. Go ahead and do that. Do anything you need to do in order to become more comfortable in this space. And then noticing what you bring here in your body today, your sweet body. As we launch into Ash Wednesday, remembering from Psalm 103, where it says, "The Lord remembers our frame. He knows that we are dust." And so bringing your old dusty self to this mat today, knowing that God knows every speck of dust from which you were created and has breathed life into this body of dust and mercy and full awareness and knowing and loving into your frame of dust, forgiveness, no shame, just freedom and breath and life here today. So from there, let's become aware of our breath. Just notice and look and watch, see the breath moving in, feel your breath coming in and moving out. That breath that sustains us 24/7, we don't even have to think about it. But this is our opportunity to notice and appreciate and relish and savor that breath, your breath, God's breath, spirit, life, healing. One of our pastors says, just think of the name of Jesus stamped on every cell in your body today as you take your breath in. And as you let your breath out, maybe beginning to release and rest into that presence. Loving presence holding you this morning and breathing life into your body. So maybe you want a little more breath. Maybe you are ready to expand your inhale. So you might want to lengthen it slowly and mindfully. Allow your belly to open, maybe your heart to open, ribs to separate. Just notice how you feel on a slow and easy, deep breath today. And then noticing how you feel as you exhale. So nice and easy, full deep breath in, and then just blow it out. So can you become aware of the rhythm of your breath? Just as we are celebrating the rhythm of the year and in our faith, beginning to launch out into Ash Wednesday, everything of importance has rhythm: our heartbeat, our breath, the year, times, days, seasons. Here we are celebrating that, and our breath moving in, the breath moving out. And as you rest in that, I'm going to share with you today our scripture for Ash Wednesday or Fat Tuesday. I'm going to take a little preview. And our scripture is not about pancakes today. Oh, well. But it is from the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and it talks about praying and talks about noticing where your treasure is. So just listen. Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others, to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So, when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets, to be honored by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. And about prayer, when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and on the street corners, to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And the second scripture is from that same chapter 6, from 16 to 21. And when you fast, do not look somber as the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show others they are fasting. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting. Only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Do not store for yourselves up treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Whew. So in the beginning of this season, we begin to examine ourselves by noticing where our treasure is. So in this moment of quiet and meditation, I invite you to search your heart and just ponder and maybe give thanks for whatever prayer comes up for you about your treasures. Where are they? What are they? Who are they? And so my treasures there on your mat, some of my greatest treasures in this world are your beautiful selves resting right here, your spirits, your minds, your hearts, everything about you resting on this mat. Gifts totally from God to certainly to me and to the world. Take a deep breath here, and I invite you to stretch out your luscious bodies and feel your body from end to end, reaching, creating space. Breathing in, maybe rolling around a little bit. Just notice where your body's asking for a little bit of space, a little bit of freedom here today. I invite you to take that yummy stretch that's good for you. So we'll warm up a little bit by, as you're resting with arms above your head, your feet reaching out, just circling out, wrists and ankles. Make it luscious, make it aware, be mindful, notice where your muscles are moving, what's stretching, what's circling. And then we'll take our arms down by our side and let your shoulders soften and just begin to flex and point easily through your feet. Ankles moving, feet moving, flexing, pointing, and then circle out ankles a little bit more. And other way. And then we'll draw our knees in. Take your knees in towards your chest. Rock out your back a little bit, side to side. Breathe. Can you feel the floor come up to press into one side of your back, press into the other, in whatever way is comfortable for you. Breathing, just noticing, drawing knees in. On your inhale, as you lengthen your legs straight up, take the soles of your feet to the sky and your arms over your head. So arms are reaching above you, soles of your feet reaching up. Take a breath. On your exhale, bend your knees, catch your knees in your hands and pull them towards you. You might want to open them out a little bit so that you're pulling more towards your shoulders. And then we'll take it on the breath. As we inhale, feel soles of the feet come up, arms go over your head. And exhaling, knees in. Snuggle them in towards you. Take another inhale, arms overhead. So we're warming up shoulders and knees. And exhaling, knees in. We'll do it one more time. Take it up. And draw the knees in. And then we'll take our hands to our kneecaps and soften your shoulders. Let your face be soft here. Flex your feet. And we'll take the knees apart from each other and then press them away from us and draw them together. Pull them back in. So from when you're here, you're just rowing your thigh bones around and the sockets here. So the ball and socket there, the hips are just kind of rolling around, juicing them up. Breathe, and then we'll go other way. So reverse those circles. Breathe here. Good. So drawing your knees in, let's keep the right knee in. Plant the sole of your left foot on the mat. So both hands now are on the right knee. So figure out where you want to support here. Either your hands are interlaced, fingers interlaced on the outside of your right knee, or maybe underneath, more toward the right thigh, underneath there. Get yourself stable here, and then stretch out your left leg long on the floor. Noticing where your hip sockets are, your hip pointers. You just kind of want to have the hips nice and level. And then on your inhale, let's press the sole of the right foot up and stay there a little bit. So we're lengthening out now in the back of your right leg. Maybe you can just explore that, see how that feels. Maybe reach up and massage your leg a little bit here. Just give yourself some love squeezes and pats and swipes and petting all up and down your leg. Breathe. And then support the leg again, and we're just going to press up to the sole of your foot. Maybe flex and point another time or two. And circle out again. And breathe. And then we'll draw that knee in. Plant the sole of your right foot on the mat and draw the left knee up and support either on the front of the knee or behind it. Breathe. Stretch the right leg out long on the floor. And take a minute to snuggle here. So we'll take the left knee in toward us, pressing out long through the right leg. A little bit of energy there, a little hugging of the bone there. The muscles of the right leg hug the right leg bones and press them away from you toward the foot of your mat. As your breath moves in, and then we'll stretch the left foot up. So the left leg is long. I don't know about you, but I always find here that this is where I really come home to what's going on in my body, because I can really feel that the back of my leg. So see how you're feeling here. Where do you feel it? Just breathe and notice. And then maybe flex and point through your foot a little bit. Breathe, maybe circle out slowly through your ankle. Breathe, nice and easy here, just very easy. And just drawing that knee in, and we'll draw the right knee in to meet it, rock side to side just a little bit, maybe circle your knees around in one direction, other direction. And then we'll roll over toward our screen here onto your mat. We're going to do our lying twist. We do this resting on our side. So you're going to bend the knees here, have your knees stacked, your hips stacked, and we're resting down with our head resting on our upper arm or our elbow here. So notice where your hips are. Let your hips be stacked one on top of the other. And we'll take your top arm out and just lengthen it out away from your shoulder. So if you think about the way a doggy lays on its side, the paws, the legs are usually kind of just straight out, resting there. And so we'll take our inhale to raise the arm up from the shoulder there. And on your exhale, you're just going to roll back. And maybe your head will roll back right into the palm of your hand, maybe not. And you're just going to roll back, and you can let your hips slide back a little bit as you open your chest. So we're going to stay there and notice how we feel. So noticing your shoulder here, you might want to draw the arm down a little bit more towards your body so that you take some strain off the shoulder, but you're thinking about the sternum, the breastbone, and lengthening out all across the chest to the shoulder socket, down through your arm, out through your fingers, opening and reaching. You could even try making like a goalpost shape with your arm as you rest it back, bending at the elbow. Just see what feels good for you. And we'll take one more breath here. And on your exhale, you're going to roll back onto your side, taking that arm up and over to where you were to start. So we're going to take this on the breath now. So our inhale, when you're ready, take your inhale, float your arm up. Allow your exhale to unfold, your chest opening, rolling back luxuriously. Keep your tummy in a little bit to support your lower back. And on your exhale, you're just going to float the arm up and come back to where you were. So take this a few times on your breath. Your inhale floats up. Exhale opens. You might want to stay here for a breath. And allow your exhale to take you back to where you were. And inhale up. Sweet exhale opens the chest, opens the heart. Oh, yes. Breath in here. And allow your exhale to pull you over. And we're just going to do that one more time. So when you're ready, your inhale floats your arm up. Exhale opens your chest. Stay here for your inhale. And your exhale brings you home. And we'll rest here for just a moment. Noticing how your body feels as you rest there. And we'll float over to the other side. So whatever you'd like to do to get over to your other side for twisting from that direction, please do that. Either just roll over, you can come up, you can come to the other side, whatever feels good for you. But coming on down to your side again. And we'll rest on our side. So yummy, so relaxing. Just take your time. Hips are stacked to begin. Your top arm rests out straight from the shoulder. Just check in here for a little bit, see how you're feeling. Catch up with your breath a little bit. Notice the rhythm. And when you're ready, on your inhale, your top arm will float up. Your exhale will roll you open. And you're just, the first time we'll stay there for a couple of breaths just to check in. Chest is opening, chest muscles lengthening, arm lengthening. And when you're ready, on your next exhale, your arm will float up and come all the way over to the floor. And so we'll take that at your own pace, your own breath. Inhaling when you're ready, arm comes up. Exhale, open. Float back. Stay here for your inhale. Your exhale draws you back. Inhale, arm floats open. Exhale, float back and stretch out your chest. Notice where you're looking. Your gaze comes up to center, up maybe to the ceiling, maybe over your right shoulder. Your next exhale brings you home. And we'll do it one more time. When you're ready, arm floats up. Opening, rolling back. Stay here for your in-breath. Notice any changes that you feel in this repetition. And then exhaling onto your side. And then I'm going to ask you just to stay there for a little while I read to you the first poem for today from Mary Oliver. And we're going back in this poem to our theme of thinking about where our treasures are. This is a sweet poem and it's called Storage. Storage by Mary Oliver. So resting down, settle, quiet your thoughts, quiet your mind, and listen. Storage. When I moved from one house to another, there were many things I had no room for. What does one do? I rented a storage space and filled it. Years passed. Occasionally, I went there and looked in, but nothing happened, not a single twinge of the heart. As I grew older, the things I cared about grew fewer, but were more important. So one day, I undid the lock and I called the trash man. He took everything. I felt like the little donkey when his burden is finally lifted. Things, burn them, make a beautiful fire. More room in your heart for love, for the trees, for the birds who own nothing, the reason they can fly. So begging the question here, what do we have in our storage spaces that have been locked away for years? Literally, figuratively. What things can we just call the sacred trash man to come and take away so that we can fly? What freeing thoughts those are. So that's part of the reason for our breath, part of the reason for our movement in this practice is that it clears away some of the trash. It opens spaces that need to be opened. It removes weeds that need to be pulled so that we can feel lighter, more free. What an interesting morning this is to put all those things together. So I invite you to rejoice in the freedom that we're creating in this space together today in God's presence. What does that look like for you? So, good question to ask yourself. So we'll come up from our side, pressing up slowly, and we'll come to all fours. So we'll come to hands and knees, and if you'd like to take one of your towels that you might have rolled up or just lying there to put under your knees for cushion, you can please do that. We're going to come to hands and knees in just a comfortable way, a way that feels right to you. And go into a little cat-cow. So you come to all fours, find your center here. Knees are underneath your hips. Notice what's comfortable for your wrists. If you like, you can roll your mat back towards you a couple of times so you get some cushion. Maybe rest your palms on that. Let your fingers just drape over the edge. See how I have my fingers falling off the edge? And, or you can come to fist, just take a gentle fist on the floor with your knuckles on the mat. And we'll just take an inhale and lengthen our spine, take a little glance up. On your exhale, begin by curling your hips under round, chin to chest. And inhaling, lengthening our spine, looking up. And exhaling, rounding with luxurious breath. If you'd like to come down to forearms, that's great too. You can still work through the spine. Whatever way that feels comfortable. So we're rounding, lifting, exhaling. Taking it now at your own pace, I invite you to send your thoughts inside. Notice where in your body you need to stay, maybe for a breath or two, to breathe into that congested area, to open it up a little bit. Maybe in the belly, maybe in your back. Just notice and breathe back and forth. And then on your next exhale, we'll take the toes together, maybe widen your knees a little and press back into child's pose. So the hips press back towards your heels. Your arms can reach out ahead of you. And if your hairline meets the mat, that's great. If not, you can maybe take your other towel or blanket and put it underneath your forehead for support. And we're just going to breathe here a little bit, being mindful that the shoulders will pull back away from your ears and just rest. Or if you'd like, you can take your hands way back behind your heels and just let your shoulders pour forward. And resting there. Take a few breaths. Just silence, noticing your breath moving in, moving out. Listen, feel. Easy breath. And on your next inhale, let's take our arms forward if they aren't there and come on up to all fours. Come all the way through table into cow. Exhale, rounding into cat and then pressing right on back into child's pose. We're going to take a little flow here. So your inhale, stay in cat, floating up all the way to cow on your inhale. Exhaling, rounding into cat and sitting back into child's pose. Rounding, curl up when you're ready through cat into cow. Exhale, round, sit back, make that journey back to your heels. Press back. And curling under, rounding up all the way into cow. Exhale into cat and then sit back once again into child's pose, taking your hands by your ankles and circle out your wrists. And rest. Take a breath there. Just going to keep it simple. And then floating up again to all fours. This time, we'll take the right leg out behind us. Good, and we'll lift that leg up right from the hip. You don't have to open the hip. You're just keeping your rear end level here. And if you'd like, you can take the opposite arm up. So we're going to take a breath, reach in, reach out. And on your exhale, draw your knee in and draw your elbow in. Maybe curl around your back. And inhale, lengthen. Take the leg out behind you. Take the other arm out. If you want to do just arm or just leg, that's fine too. And exhale, curl it in. Inhale, lengthen and lift, reach. And exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. And then release your knee down. Take your hand back down. Maybe wag your tail a little bit. If you want to press back through a quick child's pose just to release tension on your wrists, you can do that. Just kind of squirm around here, press side to side, see what feels good for you. And then we'll come up to all fours again and take the other side. So this time your left leg comes out and just lifts just a little bit off the floor. You just want to have some strength and think about the energy working from your heart right down through your hip down through the sole of your foot and your toes there. If you want to balance here, you can take opposite arm out and reach. So your gaze here is down toward the mat or maybe about a foot ahead. So take your breath, inhale, reach. Exhale, knee comes in, your tummy curls under, pull your elbow in. Inhale and unfurl, take it out end to end. Exhale, pull it in. So remember, you can do just arm or just leg if you want. And in, and reach. Exhaling in, curl up. Inhale, lengthen. Last time, reach. And then hand comes down, knee comes down. Press on back to your child's pose. Take your hands around behind you. And rest. This is where you might want to really shake out your wrist. Hold one wrist on your lower back. Take your hands up to your lower back and just hold on to your wrist. Let your shoulders relax. Breathe. So after that little bit of exploration of strength and reaching and trying to hold yourself in center, how do you feel? Just notice where your body is, how you feel here. You can come up to all fours here again. And we're going to take the right leg out and we'll lift it up again and then just kind of draw it across your body, across the calf behind you. So this is a stretch for your side body. We're just going to take that leg across, press out through your heel. So this is what I'm doing, but my foot's on the floor. I just want to show you that my ankle is flexed with the toes tucked under here. And take a little glance around at your back foot. So you're just kind of checking out what's going on back there with your foot, pressing out through your heel. So you might feel this in the side body, all through your ribs, down through your hip. Breathe into that space. And then gently come around to center and release your foot, take it in. We'll take other side. So other leg comes out, press your heel back behind you with some energy. Slowly lift it up, take it across your opposite calf. So when you're here, notice if you need to tuck your tail a little bit, or the important thing is to keep your abdominals engaged as I fall over off my mat to support your back. So let's take a little look around behind us and our foot flexed back there. And breathe. So you're pressing the mat away from you with your hands. Stretching through your side body. Breathing. And then we'll slowly come around to center. Draw that other leg in. Wag your tail a little bit here, and then we'll tuck our toes under and press back into an easy down dog. So pressing into the finger pads, treading out one heel, other heel, shoulders are pressing up away from the ears. Just walk through your down dog, press it, press it. Easy, easy. Notice your breath here and see where you want to go. If you want to come back to child's pose, please do. If you want to come up on your tiptoes, press around, press one heel, opposite heel, hips are rolling around, whatever you'd like. The important thing here is to just breathe and feel. Use your energy here, and then we're going to walk our feet toward our hands. So bend your knees a lot, walk your feet in towards your hands, and then your hands back towards your feet. While you're down here, if you have a towel or something on your mat, you can put that out of the way. And then notice as you come back towards your feet, you're going to take the weight of your body in the center of your feet. And then take your hands to your knees. Take a breath, roll your shoulders back, draw your belly in. And then we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Take your time, let your head come up last. I know there's a temptation to really just come on up and get her done, but just take your time. Yes, rolling on up. Hello, here we are. Let me push this back. You love it, the headless yoga teacher. Here we go. Okay, so coming to center, going to open up the energy centers of the body by just noticing your feet on the mat. And first of all, we're just going to do a little bouncing. So just let yourself be floppy. And we'll just bounce around a little bit. So just let everything go, bounce around, bounce around. Just let it go. And so what you're doing here is kind of lubricating your fascia, they say. The yoga people say that. And then we're going to slow down the bounce so we can just work into a nice little twirl. So you can just let your arms go, let them fly. If you want to pick up your back ankle or your back heel, you can do that. But allow your breath to really work through your body here. Let the arms go. So we're getting rid of the trash here, right? We're just unloading that junk we've had in storage all this time. Whew, letting it out, letting it go. And then we'll come back to center. And once you make it back to center, stand here a moment. Just be still. Notice how your body feels. And then we'll take our feet a little bit wider than our hips. Bend your knees. Take your hands to your hips. So you want to notice your feet on the floor first, because this is a grounding. We're going to begin by grounding. Really notice your feet pressing in. And press it down. And then bend your knees a little, and we're just going to circle around. So what you're feeling here, what we want to pay attention to, is the soles of your feet. Notice that sensation of the soles of your feet pressing in, mashing, pressing one side to the other. You can even press side to side, press one foot, press the other foot. This is your connection with the ground, from the heart all the way down to the ground. And then we'll take our knees, take your hands to your knees, give your knees a little twirl here. So now we're still thinking about our feet, but we're adding an awareness of the knees circling. And then we'll go the other way. And massage behind your knees a little bit. Doesn't have to be a big bend in your knees. If it hurts, just kind of lean down, give it a little rub. And then we're just going to rub all the way up our legs. Just give yourself a little massage here up your legs. Good. And we'll come in, take your hands to your hips again, and really circle through the hips. So we're coming from that sense of groundedness to a sense of flow. So this is like a water fluid kind of motion here. Go on with the flow. Yep. And other way. Breathe. So the breath moves in, sort of flows around, swirls the hips around. Good. And so now we'll come to center. Take your hands to your thighs, and we'll do a couple more of those cat-cows, but we're going to be standing. So you're grounded through your feet, hands touching your body. You're grounded in your body. Take an inhale, look up, and take an exhale, scoop the hips under, round. So you're just going to take an inhale here, exhale, round. Very easy. It doesn't have to be deep and hard. You're just kind of just working back and forth here with the middle back. Good. And then rolling on up. Open the heart here by taking your palms out. Take an inhale, wide. And exhale, give yourself a hug. Inhale, nice and wide. And hug. Inhale, open. And hug. Good. Nice. Inhale, open. We're just letting the trash fly out. Whew. Can you see it? And release your arms, shake them out. So let's do shoulder. I don't know if you remember this, but like the last day of school, did you ever have the school bus, everybody threw their papers from the year out the window? You remember those cascades of school papers that went flying? Take your elbows with you now. So that's kind of what I'm feeling right now, is that whatever junk and whatever old papers, old messages are flying out the window now, so we can start all over again. We can fill ourselves with what God wants to put in, and then you're just going to reach up and up So let's take it up, take some reaches, nice and easy. Good, and we'll take both arms up next time, both arms up. Take your palms toward each other. Take a breath and reach up, and now we're just going to tuck your tail a little bit, draw your belly in, maybe just a little heart opening, just lifting the face, lifting the chin, and down. Hands come down by your side. And we'll do a little lion's breath to open our throat. So we'll come forward for anybody who hasn't done that before. So what's happening is that we're taking a breath on your deep breath in. On your exhale, you're going to let your tongue come out, open your throat, and let your eyes look up toward the third eye center here. So we're going to take a breath in, exhale, tongue comes out, eyes look up. So we'll do that 3 more times. Take a breath in. Silence your face in between. That was last time. Soften your face. Maybe feel the energy moving through your throat. Fantastic. Great. So let's move up onto our brow area. We'll take the fingers interlace here on the forehead. Press back. Just brush. So this is not only working on the tension in your scalp, but symbolically opening that energy center of wisdom, like that third eye area here. We just open up to whatever God has for you, whatever messages you need to receive, whatever you need to let go of. Those funky thoughts, ugh, let them go. And then we'll just take a little sweep over the top of our head, up and back. Breathe. So do this in whatever way feels right to you. Just soothing and releasing. Good. And then interlace fingers in front of your chest. Press your palms out. Take an inhale up. And exhale, palms to the top of your head. Inhale up. And release down. Inhale, press up. Exhale down. And reaching up last time, press up. Exhale. And softly feel that space. Slow. Easy. And coming to center, just notice your body. Soft shoulders. A gentle lift in the abdominal wall. A gentle engagement of your legs. Notice your feet settling into the floor. Easy breath. So as you're here, can you gather in to center? Notice the plumb line of your body that hangs from heaven and goes right down through the center of your skull, down right in front of your spine and the center of your body. If you can go into the depths of your body here, reaching down through the perineal area, down through the center, down through the ground, connecting you with the center of the earth. Breathing, strong, easy. Good. And then we'll just release, kind of shake it out a little bit. Maybe move around in a way that you feel good, that you can just kind of release that holding a little bit. And from here, we're going to do a couple of half sun salutations. So come to center, we'll take palms to the heart, come to mountain. And palms just gently press into each other. And on your inhale, we'll take a nice big reach and swoop. Arms come up, gathering up that space. Exhale, bend your knees, dive forward, tummy's in, hips hinge back, forward fold to wherever you're comfortable. Hands on your knees, your shins, the floor. Easy forward fold. Let the back of your neck release. Take a breath. And now taking your hands to your shins on your inhale, come up just halfway. Take a little glance toward me. And then exhale, forward fold. And on your inhale now, you're either going to draw your belly in and roll up slowly, or you can inhale and swoop your arms out to the side. If you have a strong back, come on up, arms pull you up, palms touch, and draw down to center, to the heart. And if you've been rolling up, just roll up to center, take your palms together. And we'll do that again. So when you're ready, balance your weight from one foot to the other. On your inhale, we'll take the arms down, swoop up nice and big, reach up. Exhale, graceful swan dive, forward fold. As you fold down, take your hands down the backs of your legs, rub down the backs of your legs, touch your body. Take an inhale, come up halfway. This time on your exhale, go back down into your forward fold. Bend your knees a little bit if you need to. Hold elbow to elbow. Let the back of your neck relax and just hang here. Allowing your spine to lengthen from the lower back all the way down. The weight of your head is just causing a little bit of traction in your spine, if that's comfortable. If not, come up and just put your hands on your knees. And then when you're ready, on your inhale, you're going to swoop back up. Reverse swan dive. Come on up. Arms pull you up. Palms touch. And now lower through center to the heart space. Soft shoulders, easy thoughts, easy body. And rest your hands down by your side. Breathe. And just step out into an easy stance, and we'll notice how your body feels here. Just take your hands by your side, rest them down. This is very gentle and just a little bit of self-awareness here. So just going to notice energy working through your body. Maybe you feel a little hum through your body somewhere. Those are those energy centers, the lines and meridians in your body opening up to ease, to grace, to the breath. Wonderful. So go ahead and have a seat. And we'll just sit in a comfortable, easy pose here. Cross legs, you can perch on your blanket if you'd like. So I have my blanket like this. You can take your towel. Let me show you this with a towel. So the towel that you've had so neatly rolled up, you can undo if you'd like. Take a little rectangle and put it around behind you to perch your hips upon for an easy pose. So we're just going to come seated with hands on your knees if that's comfortable. Notice how you feel here, allowing the hips to ground and center. And then you're going to lift your spine nice and tall, easy shoulders. And on your exhale, we'll just drop our chin to our chest and notice the length of the back of your neck. This is a sweet place, maybe to imagine or feel or reach out for or know that the hand of God is on your head today for a sweet blessing. This time of Lent is a time of humbling ourselves before the Lord and doing some honest self-evaluation and lifting up those things we need to let go of. It's a time of truth, time of just turning away from whatever we need to turn away from and asking for God to fill us with what God sees for us, that we can become more and more of who we were created to be. On your next inhale, let's take our face to the sky. And exhaling your face to center. And we'll just take the right ear over the right shoulder and reach out long through the left fingertips. So opening up through the side of your head, down the shoulder, through your arm. Very simple. We're just going to reach out and breathe. as you follow your breath, can you notice any place that's softening, any place that's in need of a little more breath? And then from here, just taking your thumb up to the sky, we're going to turn the arm so your thumb rotates up toward the sky. And then right where you are, just draw the arm behind you. So you might feel a little different opening there. You can tilt your chin up and back and see how that feels. Maybe play with it. Take the arm down toward the mat a little bit. Maybe move the arm up. Maybe circle the wrist. Maybe press out through the palm and then press the palm down. It's amazing what one little fraction of an inch of movement or positioning change will make a difference in what you're feeling. And so now taking that hand back down to the mat beside you, and we'll come back to your knee, and then lift your head slowly through center. Take a little gaze one way, a little gaze other way, and back to center. And we'll sit up tall again. This time take your opposite ear to the opposite shoulder, taking your fingertips down toward the mat. So what I'm thinking is this will be your left ear to your left shoulder maybe, and your right hand reaching out. Easy breath. And taking the thumb up toward the sky, now rotating the arm, maybe drawing the arm behind you, lifting your chin up and back. Whew. And exploring motion in the arm. Maybe just turning your head a little bit this way and that, wobbling around to get a sensation of where you need the most breath and ease. And going there and breathing. And your hand floats now down back to the mat. Feel the mat under your fingertips. Take your hand back to your knee and float your head back to center. Ease the shoulders up and back, and then backwards and forwards. And taking a gaze one way, a gaze the other way. And back to center here. So let's take the right leg out, straight in front. And the left knee bends with the left foot here into your inner thigh or your calf. Trying to get this screen fixed so you can actually see what's happening. Pardon me. And here we go. So that's a little bit better, I guess. And so we're sitting up tall, and we're just going to sit up tall here and take our arms up and hinge forward. Take a little dive forward, leading with the heart. Keep your chin in. And then let the hands float down when they need to. And you'll just take a gentle forward fold here over your right leg. If you'd like, you can take toes up toward the sky. Just press out through your heel. The important thing is to draw your vision, your awareness inside now your body. Notice where you're feeling this. Notice what you can let go of that's not serving you in this place. Our theme for the day, right? Soft shoulders. Maybe you can roll your shoulders out here too a little bit. You can even sway a little bit over your leg if you'd like, just to check in and see how that feels. Nice and easy. Ooh. And then we'll come back to sitting. So we're going to go into a little twist from here. You can take the knee that you have out to the side. Let's draw it up. The opposite leg is out. You can keep the bent knee on the foot on that side, either on the inside of your calf. Cross it over if you like and sit up tall. Let's just keep it there for today. So either inside the whatever that is, your calf, other side. But just make sure you have a nice tall seat. And we'll take, say if your right foot's across, you're going to take your left arm out. and vice versa. And then you're just going to lift up, swoop up, take a little turn toward the knee, and take that hand down. So you can rest it on the outside of the knee. You can take hold of the knee. Other arm comes up and behind you. Notice where you are here, seated on your hips. You want to draw the bent knee, hip back behind you, which starts your twist, and you're just going to spiral around. Tummy's in, take your twist. Chest broad. So don't push it, don't force it. Just let it be what it needs to be. Allow the leg that's long on the floor to have a little energy. You don't want to just flop it down. Draw those toes up, press out through your foot. The foot that's crossed over is going to press into the mat or the floor. Easy twist. Take a breath. On your exhale, release, and we're just going to come forward and continue to spiral around just a little bit the other way to undo that little spiral you had. Come forward, reach ahead, massage your legs, and then we'll go to the other side. So let's draw the opposite foot in, either inside your thigh or on the outside or inside of your calf. We'll sit up nice and tall, find your seat, and then arms will float up. And we'll hinge forward, just going to reach out with a nice long back first. And then when you can't keep it long anymore, you're just going to settle on over. Take your hands to wherever you're comfortable. Front toes are up as best you can. And if you like to close your eyes here, just close your eyes, settle in. Soften your jaw. Breathe easy, sweet. Shoulders soft. Notice where you're feeling this. And if you like, maybe sway around a little bit. Maybe reach one arm out, other arm out. Press. Oh, feels good to me. Hope it feels good to you. Just enjoy. And then we'll come on up to sitting. So hinging up, sit up nice and tall. Take your opposite knee up. Keep it either on the inside of your calf or on the other side. Lifting up tall, press out through those front toes. Opposite arm comes up. So if your left leg's in front, your right arm's going to reach out. Lots of nice energy circling from the heart and out through those fingertips. We're going to swoop that energy up. Begin to shift the opposite hip back, which begins your twist as the arm comes around. Opposite arm flows up and behind you. So either your fingertips or your palm pressing down behind you. Foot pressing out, foot pressing down gently. And take your twist, shoulders soft. Notice your breath. Easy breath. I'm going to invite you here to let go of any thought of when you're going to come out of this, to be right where you are. Notice how you feel, if you need to back off of your twist a little bit. And do it if you need to. Notice what you're seeing. Notice what you're hearing. Notice what you're feeling here again. And then take a breath when you're ready. And your exhale will unwind your body around the other side just a little bit here. And we'll come back to center. Take the soles of the feet on the mat. Take an inhale up. Take an exhale back and round. Inhale, sitting up. Exhale, back and round. We're just doing this to release the back, straighten it out a little bit. So now take your towels that you've so graciously rolled up for us. You're going to put one, you can put one on one side of your mat, one on the other. You might want to watch this first if you haven't done it before. So you're going to take your see my other towels over here, and sit up tall here. So what's going to happen is you're going to roll back. Hold on to your towels, just have them about midway. And roll back. I'm going to take your knees in and stretch out a little bit first. And then plant the soles of your feet on the mat in a comfortable spot. And then we'll take the legs out, soles of the feet snuggle in toward each other, like you're saying a prayer with your feet. And then we can take the towels and tuck them under the outside. You're not sitting on it, you're just kind of snuggling it in underneath the sides of your hips so that your legs can rest on the towels if you need to. So see how that feels. Get yourself in center. Be mindful that you're noticing the inner thighs, just allowing them to rest open, releasing any tension there if you can. If this is uncomfortable, you certainly can come out. Just stretch your legs out below you. You can, if you need to, you might want to just shift your feet as the soles of your feet are together. You might want to shift them away from you a little bit more. Maybe that would be a little more comfortable. And then noticing your hips settling. Notice your back resting down. Shoulders are broad. You might want to take your arms out gently side to side, maybe in a goalpost. But just some gentle openness of the chest and shoulders. Palms facing up. The back of your neck is very easy here. You might want to think about drawing your chin towards your chest a little bit so we don't have a pinch in the back of your neck. And maybe rock your head side to side to come to a comfortable place there. Just find your comfortable place. And then we'll take a deep breath in center. And on your exhale, notice how it feels to allow yourself to just rest here. Notice the sensations in your body. Maybe releasing the weight of your knees or thighs into the towels a little bit deeper. Allowing your face to be very soft and easy. And as you're resting in this pose, of course, remembering you can always draw your knees together, come out of it. You can rest on your side, your back, whatever feels best. And I'll share with you a second poem today from Mary Oliver. This is called The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? So resting in those words, how do they resonate in your body now? What thoughts, what images come up for you in this place? When we talk about prayer, we don't really have to know what prayer is, maybe. Jesus has taught us a very simple prayer in the Lord's Prayer. Mary Oliver says, I don't know what prayer is exactly, but I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down in the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields. Could this be that is prayer? How would that feel for you today, to in this place, just be lying here on your mat idly, blessed, with nothing else but the silence, your breath, quiet. So very gently from here, let's draw our knees together, maybe with your knees still bent. And then with mindfulness, stretch out one leg in that wonderful release. Can that be delicious for you as you stretch out your other leg? Maybe pressing out through the soles of your feet. Allowing your arms maybe to flop across your chest. And then if you'd like, taking arms overhead and a stretch from end to end. And we'll take our hands and rub them together. If you have glasses on, you can take them off. And going back to that sweet image of the grasshopper taking her little arms, and just rub your hands together. But what we're going to do is we'll just rub our hands so that heat builds. Breathe. And then gently place your hands, cup your hands over your eyes. And notice the energy, that warm energy, nourishing your eyeballs there as your eyes are closed, bringing you into that sweet place of dark quiet. Breathe. And when you're ready, just resting your arms down by your side for Shavasana, just resting here. Once again, aware of that sacred, ordinary space where you rest. Noticing your breath, finding ease, and we'll just rest here for a moment in quiet. Softening, relaxing, rest. So with a very gentle awareness, come back to notice how your body's feeling here. Notice your breath moving in, moving out. The sacred ordinary, the breath moving in, the breath moving out. Come to an awareness of your body resting here and noticing what you hear. And if you'd like, softly opening your eyes again and notice what you see, maybe with fresh eyes. And if you'd like, gathering knees into chest, rocking out side to side. Taking whatever you need right now, maybe a twist, maybe a big stretch, maybe squirming around, whatever you like to do. And then rolling onto one side when you're ready. And making your way up to sitting. So we'll come back to sitting. Easing out your neck. And we'll take hands to heart. Lord God, loving Creator, we thank you for these moments that we can cherish and gather our awareness toward the things that are most important. We can settle into an awareness of our treasure. What is it? Where is it? What clutter can we release to make room for your presence so that we can fly? How wonderful you are that that is the desire of your heart for us, not to burden us with unnecessary heavy yokes, but to free us into your goodness, the vision that you have for us. We thank you and love you and offer you our heart, our soul, our mind, and our strength as we take these thoughts, this practice off the mat and into the world, that we might love as you do. So thank you. In the name of Jesus, the Christ, our healer. Amen. Thank you all for practicing with me today. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.